Hi, it's Jennifer with Jennifer at Home, and I'm super excited and happy you're here today because today my husband Alan and I are going to be getting ready for a New Year's Eve party, and we have some wonderful appetizers that are super easy, and we can't wait to share them. These are the things we're going to use to make our super easy appetizers. We have some little Smokies, some pepperoni, some meatballs that we purchased at Walmart in a frozen bag, already pre-made. Some shredded mozzarella cheese, some provolone cheese. You can use any combination of these things to make these wonderful, delicious appetizers. We have a new product. It's a corn dog wrap. We're going to use this corn dog wrap on the little Smokies and make some little mini corn dogs. We have some crescent sheets and crescent rolls, some pepperoni pizza sauce. This is going to go with our pepperoni pizzas that we're going to make with the dough. And we're also going to put some little Smokies and some barbecue sauce. So we'll have quite a variety of little appetizers with only a few simple ingredients. The first recipe I'm going to do is for some wrapped meatballs. These meatballs are going to be wrapped with a provolone cheese, and I'm going to use the same pizza sauce that I'm going to use in the pizza rolls. That way it'll be so much easier. I'm just going to take a round cookie cutter and cut out a disc of cheese and put on each one of these. You could also just tear the cheese like this into quarters and put a quarter of the cheese right on as well. But since I'm having company and I'm going to have some guests here, I'll just set this cheese aside, the little scraps, and that'll be something we can have as a little snack before our friends come later for the New Year's Eve party. So these little nice discs will sit one right on top of each one of these little rolls. I'll do just a couple more. We'll have a nice little variety, and we can put these all in a tray together once we bake them. And all of these doughs bake at 375, so that way we'll have all of the temperatures right, and we can put them all on trays and put them in the oven, all at the same temperature. So I'll get started. After I put this on, I'm going to put a little bit of sauce. And this bottle makes it so easy because you can just squeeze it right out, right on top of the cheese. And you could also use shredded cheese as well if you'd like to use shredded. Then I'm going to put the meatball on. And I'm going to put a little bit more sauce right on the top. And you could even sprinkle on some little Italian herbs if you'd like to do that at this time. I have a little bit of oregano here, and I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit right on top, right in that sauce. This is going to be just like a little mini meatball sub. And then I'm going to bring the two sides up together and pinch them right on top the meatball. And then I'll just roll it up. I'm going to tuck the two sides in a little bit as I roll it so that it doesn't come all undone. And then I'll bring the little tab up and just press it down nice and secure with my finger. And you have a nice little beautiful packaged meatball sub. I have all of the little subs all ready to go. The meatball subs will go in the oven, and I put the little end down with the little tab that sticks up extra. That way it doesn't come open when they're baking in the oven. Alan, would you put these in? The oven is preheated to 375.
I sure will.
Thank you. Now I'm going to be using the same type of dough. This is the same crescent dough, except this is in one long big piece. So I'm going to roll this up. I'll unroll it right here on the cutting board, and then I will fill it with wonderful pizza fillings, roll it up, and cut it into nice little pizza discs. I've taken the great big sheet of dough, and I'm going to unroll it right here on the cutting board, and I'm going to try to get it into a rectangle shape the best I can. If it accidentally tears or gets a hole like this does, you can just pinch it back together. but try to get it as consistent as you can into a nice even shape. It doesn't have to be perfect because you're going to roll it up again and cut it, and it'll be in slices, and nobody will know if it's not a perfect rectangle. So the first thing I'm going to do is put down some sauce. This is the same easy squeeze sauce that we used on the little mini meatball subs. You don't want to put a tremendous amount on because you don't want it to all squeeze out. And then once you get it put on there, just take a little knife or spatula, a little spreader. This is a little cake icing spatula, and I'm just going to go around and spread this out into a nice thin layer. If you found that you've put way too much on, you can always just lift it off with your little spreader and remove the excess. You can fill this with anything you'd like: pepperoni, mushrooms, black olives, green olives, sausage. The ideas are just endless. Okay, now that I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle on some cheese. This is mozzarella cheese, but once again, you can use any type of filling you'd like. You can do even a cheddar cheese, and instead of putting sausage, you could put some taco meat and make it a Mexican. You could use some taco sauce and put down instead of the pizza sauce. Anything that you like, you can roll up in this easy roll and make a wonderful appetizer. Make sure you have everything covered with cheese out to the edge. I've left a little bit here on the very end that I'm going to use to stick together to the other side once I get it rolled up. Now I'm going to just sprinkle on a little bit of oregano to give it a little bit of more of an Italian pizza taste. All right, now let's put the pepperoni on. I'm just going to put them right across in rows. You could also cut them up into little pieces, or just buy little pieces of pepperoni. They have little tiny mini pepperonis. That would work really well with this. And as you can see, this only takes just a couple of minutes to put this entire thing together. Now just start at one end and start rolling. Once you get started, it'll be easy. Just fold it right up over the edge of the pepperoni and start rolling it right down the board. I have made these before with ham and cheese, and they turn out really well. They're like nice little ham and cheese sandwiches. Now, once we get it all rolled up, we're going to want to get a nice sharp knife. I have it rolled clear to the end, and now I'm going to take that little end and just pinch it right onto the edge to make sure this stays closed. Just work your way right down, pinch up the seam, seal it up, and once it's all sealed up, it's time to cut it into rolls. Just go right down the log. And I know they'll flatten a little bit, but that's okay because when you lay them on the tray, you can reshape them a little bit and make them round again. When you pick these up to put them on the baking sheet, just lift them up, turn them this direction, and lay them down. It's super easy and super quick. And now that we have all of the pepperoni rolls put together on the baking sheet, we'll get these put in the oven at 375. I've also put down a piece of parchment paper just so they don't stick to my tray. And now we're going to try the corn dog wraps. These corn dog wraps come in 8 pre-portions, so 8 different perforated rectangle sizes that are made for hot dogs. But we're going to try the little mini corn dogs with our little Smokies. Alan's going to cut these rectangles into smaller squares, and then that way we can wrap these individual little Smokies and make little mini corn dogs.
Okay, so this is new on the market, as Jennifer said, and they are perforated little corn dog squares. So separate these, get these nice and taken apart. Now the little Smokies, as we can see, are only about half the size. So I'm gonna each one of these, cut it in half, because everybody loves a good corn dog. And if you really do like corn dogs, one of the best parts is all of the dough on it. So we're just gonna simply lay the little Smokie right on there and roll it up. Literally just that simple. Go through these, and as Jennifer said in the intro, we are going to take some of these little Smokies, and one of the next recipes will be, we will take them and we're gonna put it in a little, marinate them in a little barbecue sauce and simmer them, and then we serve them with a little toothpick. So kind of a play on Pigs in the Blanket, except we're using the little Smokies and this new corn dog wrapper. So we're really excited to see how these went. Now, if you don't want one that's so thick, this dough is pliable enough that you could just stretch it out a little bit, give it another cut, take your little Smokie, and you could still roll it, and you could actually double the amount of little Smokies that you're doing. There's plenty of thickness on the dough. So we'll just wrap that right around and seal it. But just like Jennifer did on the other ones, make sure when you put them on the tray, the seam side is down so that as it's baking, it doesn't expand and open up on you. So we will just go through here, take care of the rest of these. Jennifer is getting ready to melt some butter and put some spices in it, because on those little meatballs, on those little meatball subs, we are going to doctor those up a little bit and make them a little bit extra special.
So we have some butter here with some garlic powder and just a little bit of oregano sprinkled in. I'll melt this in the microwave, mix it in, and once I take the little mini meatball subs out, I'll brush it on the top, and it'll make them extra flavorful and extra tasty.
All right, we have all the little mini corn dogs on the tray. We're gonna put these in the oven, and again, as Jennifer said, all of these Pillsbury Crescent dough packages all direct you to bake at 375. So that's great. All of these are at the same temperature, and we're just gonna put one tray in after another.
I have the butter melted in the microwave. I just took it out, and I have the garlic powder and the oregano in here, and I'm just gonna brush the top of our little mini meatball subs. They smell so good, and this butter alone smells amazing. This gives each one of these a really nice shiny top, and it'll also be really great when we sprinkle the Parmesan cheese on top. It'll stick right in this wonderful flavored butter. And there we have it.
And I'm gonna come in and put a little sprinkle of Parmesan on each one of these, because that butter will soak right into that crescent roll. So you wanna make sure you get those with a little sprinkle of the cheese before that butter absorbs all the way in.
That looks wonderful.
Oh, they smell delicious. Now we're gonna move on to the barbecue little Smokies. Traditionally, we would put these in a crock pot with our favorite barbecue sauce. You can even throw a little grape jelly in there. There's different recipes, but we are gonna just make a small amount, and we're gonna use some Japanese barbecue sauce, kind of almost tastes like a teriyaki, Korean barbecue type of stuff. And so the Smokies are already in the skillet. We are gonna get going with this, and we are just going to coat the Smokies, marinate these over low heat, get them nice and warm, and the sauce will thicken up a little bit while they're cooking, and we'll continue to coat these, and they are going to be delicious. The sauce is thickening really nicely. We're just gonna let these simmer, stir them occasionally, and they will be ready. One of the most simplest things that we will do today. And everybody just loves little Smokies and barbecue sauce.
The pizza rolls just came out of the oven, and I'm gonna sprinkle some Parmesan cheese right on top. Right away when they're nice and hot, so that way it sticks nicely to the top of each one. Everything smells amazing. Our house will smell so good when our friends get here. Easy appetizers make it so much more fun because that way you don't have to fuss over anything that's challenging. You don't have a big mess to clean up. It only took minutes for us to clean up after we made these super easy, fun recipes. And this is how our wonderful, delicious appetizers turned out. We have the meatball rolls with the cheese and sauce, of course the little Smokies and the wonderful barbecue sauce. The pizza rolls, which are my favorite. And then we have the wonderful little Smokies wrapped in the special little corn dog wrappers. Alan and I had so much fun making these wonderful appetizers. They truly are tasty and delicious. I really love appetizers you can pick up and just eat with your fingers, and you can just carry a small plate around when you're visiting and having a fun time with family and friends. I would love for you to subscribe if you haven't already, and be sure to click the notification bell, and don't forget to hit the thumbs up button, and we'll see you next time.